Selamat malam At America, mana suaranya? Yes, hello everyone and welcome to At America. We are the US Embassy's American Center, the place to learn more about American culture. My name is Aldi and you are watching At America FC Road to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Yes, Sobat Amerika, dan kita hanya sekitar 9 bulan lagi dari mulainya Piala Dunia 2026. Dan Sobat Amerika, langsung saja kita perkenalkan moderator kita untuk podcast pada malam hari ini. Is a spokesperson of the US Embassy in Jakarta. Please welcome Bapak Jamie Ravetz.
Hey everybody, how are you doing? Thank you for coming tonight. We're really excited to welcome you to At America for our first ever podcast show on football and the road to the World Cup. This is At America FC, the road to the FIFA 2026 World Cup. So excited to have you. We're going to kick things off because we're getting ready to head to one of the most important sporting events in the world, with the United States playing a central role, co-hosting with Mexico and Canada in 2026. We want to bring people together through this sport, a sport that I love, a sport that my co-host Iksan loves, and talk about football and get people excited. In addition to discussing leagues and matches going on around the world, we're also going to look closely at the cultural, historical, and social impact of football, while also highlighting the unique role the United States and the other co-hosts will play in 2026. So through expert analysis, through engaging storytelling and diverse perspectives, we really hope to connect fans worldwide, foster excitement, and promote the values of sportsmanship and the power of football to bring people together. Oddly, it's a sport that divides, but it's through that division and the shared love that brings us together. So I'm going to do this because of my passion for the sport. I love the sport. You're going to get tired of hearing me talk about how much I love the sport. But I want to make clear that, you know, my opinions are my own. They're not the opinions of the United States government or the embassy. And that goes for my colleagues here. We're representing ourselves here. We're going to be talking about football. I'm going to say some pretty terrible things about a bunch of clubs that I don't like. You have to be ready for that, and I apologize for that. And that includes those fans of Man U that are still suffering after a late night last night and a tough result in the Carabao Cup. But we may talk about that later. So the same goes for my co-hosts. They're speaking for themselves. Any opinions we give are meant in jest or for fun and are personal opinions. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to talk about a variety of things. We're going to give you guys a chance to ask questions and talk about these things as well. You know, can Argentina win the World Cup in 2026? Can they repeat? Can Man U finish in the top 6? I'm not so sure. Did Xavi Alonso make the right decision moving to Real Madrid this year, right? And then, of course, all the questions I have about Indonesian football. I'm new to Indonesian football. We've got an expert here. So we're planning to do this podcast maybe once every 2 months for now, and we'll see how things go. And we'll go through the end of this year, and then we may continue this in the future. But we have 2 more episodes planned after this. Be kind, bear with us. This is our first time doing this. We're going to keep it informal and fun. But again, we haven't done this before, so we want you to be with us and help us. And hopefully over time, we'll improve, maybe. Okay. We'll see. And speaking of I'm not doing this endeavor alone. As we were planning this, I've met someone who's become a friend and really is one of the premier experts in football in Indonesia. This is Iksan Mahar. He's a journalist for Kompas, and he works on the sports desk there and has been covering football for many years. He traveled to Qatar in 2022 and was there for the entire World Cup. He was also in 2023. You covered the Asian Cup. Travels all over this country and the region covering football. I don't know, have you already started talking about plans for travel to North America next year?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I guess it depends on your editors.
Yes.
We'll pitch them through this. We'll make sure he gets there through you guys being very engaged in this program going forward. But if I could, can we welcome Iksan to the stage and thank him for participating? Please, round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. So, before we get sort of started talking about results and tables and the future and the sadness of our friends in Manchester, tell us a little bit about your connection to football. Why football? Where's the passion come from? And in doing so, we can learn a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Football is like my first love, maybe. Yeah. I can say that football is like my first love.
Does your wife know that?
Know that, yeah.
Oh, no.
You already know that.
Okay.
And the first thing I love the journalism world. I also read from the football newspaper. And in the last of the 90s, there are maybe some of audience here know Bola. Tabloid Bola, and now already died. Actually, in
But he was a famous footballer.
2018,
Okay.
2018, and now in Kompas, the biggest newspaper also and media subscriber in Indonesia. I work for at least 10 years, and I cover football since 2020 in
Okay.
COVID era. So after that I get a lot of experience. Starting from Jamie Cole, the World Cup 2022, and also Asian Cup, the biggest stage of football like Indonesian national team ever played. After 2007, we are hosted here, co-host with Thailand and Malaysia and Vietnam. And the first time after 2007, we play against in Asian Cup, and I saw many people underestimate Indonesia. I talk with like a Japanese journalist, and also some Middle East journalists. They asking me about is football is popular in Indonesia.
Really?
It's like
Don't underestimate Indonesia, right?
Even this is our first time play again in Asian Cup, but we really love football. But even Nielsen in 2017 said that Indonesia maybe almost 70% of Indonesian love football. Know at least football. Gitu.
Do you think you can call Indonesia a footballing nation?
Yes, the mad football country.
Football mad, football crazy.
Yes, football country. After that, and the last months, I went to the Sweden.
Okay.
I representative for our team to play in Gothia Cup. Gothia Cup, maybe some audience know, it's the people say that the youth World Cup because it play for the players start from 12 years old until 17 years old. They play against many teams in around the world to be the best team at that certain age. For example, my team play in boys 15 atau 15 tahun. Then they thanks God we get until quarterfinals.
Amazing. Amazing.
The team that defeated us is from the UK.
Really?
And they are like the branch of the Chelsea and Arsenal scouting team.
Oh wow!
So
So they're a part of these these
part of
really
them
established academy.
Yes, the academy they call Scouted FC. So we know
What was the score of that match? By
4-1.
4-1, respectable. That's amazing.
But the happy things that we beat every Sweden or the host team we played against.
All right, so Sweden is scared of your team, is what you're telling me. You know, I've told you this. It's so funny. When we first met, he went to Sweden in the Gothia Cup. And when you look at me, you might be surprised. But when I was 15, I played on an American team that traveled to Sweden to play in the Gothia Cup. So we have this unique connection. And then did you end up going to the Harlem Cup too in the Netherlands? Did you travel to
No. I just watched the game in Dana Cup.
the Dana Cup in Denmark. And I played in the Dana Cup too. This is, again, a long time ago. But to have this unique connection to play in one of the largest youth football tournaments in the world was really something that it was a dream come true. Now we did not make the quarterfinals. In fact, I don't think we won. I think we won one match in our whole time over there, which meant we finished our matches early, and then we explored the city. And yeah, as a 15-year-old, I probably shouldn't have been doing that. I learned a lot. I grew up a lot during those trips. It was really interesting. But back to you, Iksan, and your relationship to football. I think it's fair to say you probably have some teams you support. Could you sort of walk us through sort of what teams you support and how you avoid those teams coloring your reporting, how you stay objective?
Yeah, that's the main point of as a journalist. You should be objective. You should be as neutral as you should, especially in your reporting. I love PSM Makassar in Indonesia. The champion of the Indonesian League in 2022. And for the overseas, I really love Juventus from Italy.
I love it.
Yeah,
Juventus.
the old lady.
Do you have any other teams that you support in Europe? Like, do you have a favorite in each league, or?
Yeah. In this league, I not exactly the obvious team I favorited, but I love some teams play like. Now I love like Brighton of Albion in England, and also in Spain. Right now I love Villarreal.
Oh,
How they
interesting.
play, and they are in the top of the standings until
and they had a great season last year, didn't they? Yeah. That's exciting. Yeah, I too have some favorite teams in Europe. I'm a Chelsea fan, so forgive me. Is there any other Chelsea fans out there? There we go. We got some of it. Great. Well, it's going to be an interesting year. I want to hear what Iksan thinks about Chelsea, particularly after that draw and then an exciting win the next weekend, and a lot of purchases. So Chelsea fan. And then my first love was actually Barcelona. I was a big Barcelona fan, and I love Dutch football.
Yep.
Ironically, being here in the Netherlands with the connection to being here in Indonesia with the connection to the Netherlands, it's kind of interesting. And I loved Johan Cruyff and Van Basten.
His son become the technical advisor of Indonesian
Right,
national team.
exactly. It's
Jordi.
amazing. So there's all these connections, but Chelsea and Barca are probably my two favorite teams, and I'm sure we'll talk all about that going forward. Moving to sort of the next part of our conversation, each time we get together, we're going to talk about the World Cup.
Yes.
And so with each conversation, we're going to do something called the World Cup moment. And this is where we share something that happened in the history of the World Cup, a clip, something about the World Cup with you guys, and explain sort of why it means so much to us and why it's important. So if we could, why don't we go to Iksan's clip first, and he can explain it a little bit. So Kiki, can we tee up that clip for Iksan? It's a Belgium training. Yep. So this is firsthand. Actually, why don't you describe sort of what we're seeing, Iksan?
This is my visit to Belgium national team training center in Qatar. When I reported for the FIFA World Cup 2022. They are the interesting things that Belgium have the farthest one of the farthest training center when we compare to from Doha, from the capital of Qatar.
Okay.
The first also Germany, and the second farthest is Belgium. The place called Salwa.
Okay.
They're close to the Saudi and Qatar border than the Doha. From Doha, we use at least 2 hours drive by bus.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And for the border, only 30 minutes.
Okay.
So it's like curious me what's the other parts of Qatar should be. And in Salwa, there's like the climate is really Europe friendly,
right,
because in November they're already like raining and also more cooler than
what
the
was
Doha.
the temperature there
At that time it's 20 to 20,
Only
23.
And was this At 2 in the morning? Like, what time was this?
Is this at 8?
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Well, that's amazing. That's not what we heard in the lead up to the World Cup. You kept hearing that temperatures were going to reach 50 degrees.
Yes, but and in the Doha at that time is still in the 35 to 38 degree of Celsius. But in Salwa, Belgium, take I think take the best location to be the training center. Even they failed to qualify to the knockout round, but they have the best place.
Wait, they failed to qualify for the quarters, you said, or for the knockout stage?
Knockout stage.
They failed.
They failed because they lost to Morocco. Well, yeah, Morocco, one of the Morocco.
Yes,
in the
Morocco
last
was
game,
very
they
strong.
fell. They defeated by Morocco, and Morocco qualified to the next stage.
And talking about Belgium, I mean this was sort of. Would you say this was the end of their golden generation?
Yeah.
This was. I mean, is De Bruyne going to play in the next World Cup? Do you
And also,
think?
one of the reason I visit the Belgium also wants to see their last time for their golden generation to play in the World Cup, like Kevin De Bruyne, Thibaut Courtois, and also Romelu Lukaku at the time. I can watch and also talk with De Bruyne at the time.
Yeah.
After their training, they training around 1 to after at least 2 hours the training.
Amazing.
After I take the interview to De Bruyne also to Courtois about that situation at the World Cup, because there are an issue at that time. The Roberto Martinez, the head coach at that time, cannot connected well with the squad, especially the senior players.
Well, and he had been there since the 2014 World
Yeah,
Cup,
World
right?
Cup.
Where they
Yeah.
performed, they made the semifinals there.
Yeah.
So no, it's a shame. And Eden Hazard, our Chelsea fans would know. I don't think Eden played in 2022. He was done by then, right?
Eden already on the squad, but they only play as the substitute in the last match
So sad.
against Morocco.
So sad. What a great player. That's really interesting, and it's so cool you had that experience, that personal experience. Kiki, why don't we show my clip real quick? And I'll say, like, this clip, you're going to be like, why is this your clip? It makes no sense. It's not an exciting thing. But have a look, and when I tell you why it's exciting, you'll be like, that makes sense.
The US, yeah.
So this is, I felt like I had to pick a U.S. clip. Now, this isn't my favorite thing, but this is Clint Dempsey scoring in the 40th minute against England on June 12th, 2010.
Yeah.
So really what's more important are a couple things. That date, because it's the date that my son was born. My only son was born on that day. And it just so happens that his wife is from England. So Clint Dempsey scores in the 45th minute after Steven Gerrard had scored in the 4th minute to tie the match. And I would say this was one of the most boring matches ever. And Rob Green, the goalkeeper here, who's now a commentator for the Premier League and a great commentator, he never recovered from this. This sort of changed the trajectory of his career, really. I don't know if he played the rest of the tournament. I remember England ended up playing against Algeria in a match that was even worse than this one. But what was so great about this match was it ended 1-1. And my wife and I, who were so exhausted, and my wife who had given birth to my son 12 hours earlier, we could go to sleep happily knowing that we had drawn the match. Because if England had won, I would have been very upset. And if the U.S. had won, well, she wouldn't have cared. She was very tired. But it was that moment, being in the hospital, I'll never forget that moment. And that's really an important World Cup moment. And that's something I want to remind you. And it's sometimes it's not like the best goal. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's being at the stadium with your friends. Yeah. Sometimes it's having a party, watching it with your friends, or even being alone, and you can remember the moment. And it could be a chant on the stadium, or the way a commentator commentates on the match, and it can be really exciting. So we're going to continue to do this in the future. If our friends online have World Cup moments that they want us to discuss in the future, they can share them with us, and we can, talk about them in future shows. But yeah, really want to talk about how the World Cup and how the sport makes us feel nostalgic, and sort of brings us together.
But Jimmy, one question for
Yeah,
you.
please.
You saw us the game U.S. against the England.
Yep.
As we know that England claim themselves as the football, the father of the modern football. So as the U.S. fans, the U.S. citizen, how could you feel the team like that American? England really underestimate the U.S. football or U.S. soccer. They say it.
True.
How do you think when in the World Cup, the biggest stage in the world, the U.S. can tight, and maybe even in the next time they can defeat England?
I mean, we're hopeful, right? This is so many factors go into these matches. We were hopeful at that time. I think the England and the U.S. were a little bit further apart. I think currently, with the number of players we have on the U.S. men's national team playing in Europe, there's hope that experience pushes them forward, and they can compete more with the likes of dominant European nations. England's had some amazing runs in the past several competitions. I think England in 20 years is going to look back and be a little bit disappointed that they didn't win a World Cup with these teams, and particularly the European Cup back in, I guess, 2023, 2022, that Italy match where they played at home and they scored in the third minute and just couldn't see it out. So, listen, I think world football, as we saw in the last World Cup with Morocco, an African team going far in the competition. We want to see an Asian team do that. We saw that in 2002 with Korea, and Japan has always been on the cusp. So I think, as the sport grows in popularity, I'm really hoping teams like the United States and, of course, smaller countries and can also compete, because it's really exciting.
Yes.
Really exciting. We were going to talk about a few other things in terms of what's going on in Manchester, Manchester City, Manchester United. We're going to talk about the league a little bit. But we actually have another guest here today that I want to bring to the stage first. And maybe, I know he's a football fan, and we can bring him on. He's an expert in fandom and a journalist himself, and really just a passionate fan of football. And we can go back and discuss these other things and what's going on sort of in Europe and of course Indonesia now. So why don't we bring up Eko Noer Kristiyanto, or Ekomaung? Come on up. Eko, Tiger. I have all kinds of names for him. So Eko's a legal researcher at the Ministry. Hey, thank you for coming. Yeah, please. Eko's a researcher at the Ministry of Law and Human Rights of Indonesia. He's a columnist for Pikiran Rakyat and a senior editor at Boboto.id, an online media portal focused on providing football and other sporting news. So he's very much a part of the footballing landscape here, and his opinion, offers his opinion frequently. He holds undergraduate and graduate degrees in law, so we got a lawyer here, so he's going to be able to talk around me, and I'm not going to understand what he's saying. It'll be perfect. But we have some questions for you. Do you mind if I kick it off?
Yep.
So, first of all, before we get started, who are your teams? Who do you support? Why are you passionate about football?
In Indonesia,
Yeah, let's
I
go.
support Persib Bandung from
Okay,
Bandung.
because you're from Bandung, right?
Yes, but in other country, actually, I don't care. It's only fun. But with Persib, I support with my heart and my life.
In my life. Yes, huh? Okay, maybe your heart is better than your life, but that's fine. So you're a Persib fan, great. And part of one of the things we're going to do is as much as I know about football around the world, is as little as I know about football in Indonesia. So in a little bit, they're gonna give me my tutorial on Indonesian football, and we'll use that as a frequent or a regular part of each show. So, as I mentioned, you're a researcher. In particular, you study fandom, right? Being a fan, right? So, I guess my first question for you is being a fan in Indonesia similar to being a fan in, again, other parts of Europe? Like, for example, in Italy, the famous ultras who, and particularly in France, right? PSG and Marseille, these ultras, these ultra fans have a lot of power and sway over the players, over the administration of football teams. How does it work here? How would you describe fandom here in Indonesia?
Maybe in the context of globalization, we can say it's the same thing. Because in this era, the information, we cannot change the information, the influencer from other country. But Indonesian, there are very specific pride. It's local pride. It's about the primordiality. Like me, I'm Sudanese, so I choose Persib as my team. As a man from Surabaya, Javanese, maybe you choose a Persebaya, Surabaya, PSS Semarang. And if you are a Batak, you will choose PSMS Medan as your team in Indonesian League. So it's different. In other country, like ultras, hooligans, I saw they are influenced by ideology, fascism, or maybe they want more democracy. They protest to the government. But Indonesia, I think, is a very small community that have a good way to adopt the reason. They only fun about football. They only want to exist in their life. War against the police in the stadium. Maybe war against other supporter. I think it's only this. It's about local pride. Different with other country.
Ya, interesting. Kang, mungkin di audiens sini kita bicara lebih serius tentang supporter atau more serious about the supporters. Like that semua teman-teman yang ikut bola di sini pasti paham ada aturan away ya. Away fans ban in Indonesia Super League already started from the tragedy Kanjuruhan. 1 October 2022 and then until now already 3 seasons the Indonesian Super League, also in Championship League the second tier also banned from the away supporter. Update Kang, kira-kira sejauh ini bagaimana Kang Eko melihat, how do you look at the rules until now? Is it effective setidaknya untuk mengurangi potensi kekerasan tanda kutip antar supporter, atau kayak kok punya perspektif lain tentang aturan itu?
Okay, about ban of away match for supporter, we must say that for now, for today, it's a good decision. The supporter of Indonesian club, it cannot be trust. They still have bad behaviors, and they cannot bring something different after the Kanjuruhan tragedy. Yes. We can show that in the last Sunday. Chaos between supporter of Persib and supporter of SCM Yogyakarta in Malioboro Street.
That was out. Yes. So that was on the street outside the stadium.
Yes,
after the game.
This was after the game. Okay.
The bad things it happened out from stadium. So the people, they have know nothing about the football. They only ordinary people. They take the risk of this clash about the supporter.
So people going to the games, so in that case, it's less people who are fans of the club and more just people looking to get into a fight?
Yes.
Was that a big portion of that?
Maybe it's I can accept if the chaos it's happened in stadium.
Yeah.
But out from stadium, it's very bad things. So I can say that away ban is right decision till today.
So the away ban started when? When did the away ban start?
After the tragedy Kanjuruhan in season 2022 and 2023.
Now it's for 3 years.
Yep.
And that's similar. That's happening in France now too, right? Isn't there a away ban?
For certain teams actually,
only
like
for
Marseille, like you said, Marseille, and also Marseille, and also for PSG team in certain area like Marseille and also Bordeaux.
Okay.
Yeah, and for the other teams, it's okay for the Ultras of PSG to play.
To ban away supporter is not only decision from the state, from the authority of the country, but also it's happen when the federation and regulator of league it's so that it's high risk.
Yep.
Oh, so they make a decision based on the game.
Yes.
They do a risk assessment.
They make an analyze.
And they analyze. Okay. And this happens in other countries too.
Yes.
It seems like this ban has been going on for some time.
Yep.
And then you said that this most recent, there was discussions about ending the ban, but fans, with the actions that happened on Sunday, it looks like it put this back. And as a result, it doesn't look like they're going to remove the ban
Exactly,
anytime
Jamie.
soon.
Yes, that's right.
Do you have confidence in the authorities to keep people safe? Are there any movements out there, sort of, to balance out these fans that just want to fight to make Indonesian football more family friendly? Because what you're describing, honestly, reminds me of when I was in high school watching, at the beginning of the Premier League and looking at what was happening in Europe in the end of the 80s, 90s, where a lot of times you couldn't bring your family, young children couldn't go to a stadium because it was too dangerous. And that really has changed with sort of how people perceive the sport and how the sport sort of represents itself. I know you mentioned something outside about sort of American sports versus and how America does sports versus others. You want to talk a little bit about that?
I must say, but for Indonesian people, it's hard. I'm sorry to say, but a lot of Indonesian people have low education, and they live in hard life. So only football, they can say very arrogant in the stadium, say a bad words. It's only in stadium, but in daily day, they always yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Only in football they can feel angry, feel arrogant. Only in football. So I think it's very difficult situation if wanna try give a chance to supporter.
So it's in some ways it's about emotion and releasing emotion.
Yes.
And in the stadium,
Only stadium the place, right place to
sometimes
expression
we release too much emotion.
the emotion. In daily day, they only, but in stadium,
It's licensed.
It's already happened, Jamie. Actually, in the early 20th century, in Indonesia, first have the local competition that organized by the NIVB, Nether Indies Football Bond.
Okay.
And they also, like Kang Eko also said, that many people in Indonesia, like maybe in 1910 or 1908 or 10, and until before we Independence Day in 1945, every time they watch football, either in the landmark or maybe in the more open field, they also call many bad things about the like Bule, the players from the Dutch. They so like every animal's words they can describe, they say it in the football field, in the football games. That's like Kang Eko said, it's already happened actually in the early time when we know that we have football competition.
Yeah.
Actually,
and it's I think that's one of the things that makes people so excited about it, right? It's an opportunity to just take down your guards, throw your complete heart for your team. And if it was just that would be great, right? Even if it was just the bad words, the yelling at the officials, the
Do you have a
calling
problem in
people
office?
boule
Do you
and
have a problem
screaming at
with-
them,
with
right?
your
Like,
wife?
but it's when it sort of escalates, and in fact, like a lot of it is the escalation that's almost happening outside of the match, where I mean, I remember stories of like football supporters or like not even going to the match and just setting up a fight with another group of supporters miles away from the match, right? It's really scary. What do you think the future is then for Indonesian football fandom here? Is there a way for you to protect the passion and what is so exciting about the sport while also making it safer for everyone?
Sadly, after Kanjuruhan tragedy, I think we had never learned about the tragedy. Kanjuruhan in 2022, 3 years in the chaos in Yogyakarta happened. So I think the regulation we have a regulation not only from government but only from in our community, football community, we have safety and security regulation. Before Kanjuruhan tragedy, we have that, but we never learn about the regulation. After the tragedy, we learn about regulation. We have make different in stadium, infrastructure stadium, SOP, standard operating procedure we have, but happen again.
Yeah.
We never learn, I think.
It's hard. It takes a long.
I
mean,
think
it
it's
takes generations.
about the
maybe.
culture of Indonesian people.
How about you, Kang? For the national team, we know that in the clubs there are still like many bad things happens. Like the last time in Jogja, previous season also already happened in Malang. Even after the tragedy Kanjuruhan, and Kanjuruhan first time ever
Yes.
play the football games after the tragedy. Also there are incident between Arema Malang supporter and also Persik Kediri supporter, like we know that the last season. But you know that in the recent times, like an Indonesian national team play, and now like Jamie also talk about more entertaining, and we know that many people like girls and even family comes to watch the national team. Not only in Jakarta, in Gelora Bung Karno Stadium, but also like next month in Surabaya, there are also many family will come to watch the national team. Actually, what is difference, Kang, between the supporter in the clubs and supporter in the national team? There are maybe like different culture.
And fanatism maybe, Masan fanatism. In when we support a local team, we have primordial spirit. But when we support national team, maybe about national pride. But we cannot say that national pride is more than local pride in Indonesia, because Indonesia, like I said, we have about the education, the cultural, and the blood. We have many ethnic in Indonesia. So the bonding about ethnic, I think, is more than nationality.
Oh, that's
I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
But I feel like that.
That's a really interesting observation. So you think the diversity of the country and the ethnic connections to some of your hometown teams makes the passion or the fanaticism connected to those teams stronger than, say, and stronger in a way where the emotions run hotter, the propensity or the possibility of violence is higher, and as a result, it's very different than, say, the national team, where people can step back and support the team, but not to such a degree where they're willing to attack one another.
Exactly, Jamie. So when the people of supporter of Indonesian support their local team, it's mean pride, blood, honor. But when support national team, maybe it's only recreation. It's only just for fun.
So it doesn't
maybe.
feel like your identity is on the
Yes, nationality
line.
of course, but it's have a lower level than local club.
Do you think Indonesia the support for the national team can sort of strengthen and evolve and become more emotional the way the way it is in, say, Argentina or Brazil, or the way the Spanish rally around their team?
In specific condition, when we have a match between Malaysia, we have a bad relation with Malaysia, so nationality is burning.
And
like
also
this.
have the cultural background.
Yes.
Place, huh?
So they're your big rival,
in specific
right? Yeah,
match,
the rival.
we have good nationality. But when we play again Brazil, Germany, Lose.
Even
It must be
Japan,
lose
nah.
Japan.
But isn't Japan isn't starting to get like as the Indonesian national team gets stronger, and isn't it getting hotter? Isn't it getting more heated when you compete against teams where you have the possibility of winning? Like the match a few months ago, I guess it was the one. Did you draw with Australia? Was it the draw?
No, we lose against Australia. In Australia, we lose.
The one
And
here
in
at
here, yeah,
GBK.
draw.
It was a
Nil-nil.
draw.
Yeah, nil-nil.
I mean, as the gap between some of your fiercest rivals decreases, I imagine that sense of pride is going to get stronger, and the support for the national team would grow.
Maybe I think it's different situation. Now we have a good chance to play in USA next year.
Yeah.
So I think all people that in the normal day they don't support Indonesian national team.
Yeah.
But for today they want to go to USA with special visa, watch football. So they support our national team.
People want to travel.
Yes.
Okay,
They
that's
wanna
cool.
travel.
Have
to
another
USA.
ambition, actually.
It's hard to get visa to USA.
Yes.
But if Indonesia can play in USA next year, maybe the visa can be.
Interesting. You brought us to visas. Before we move on, let me just ask. This is a question I really want for both of you, and I don't know how it works here, and I know in each country it's different. But can you support a club of a team like the way you're describing Indonesian football? It's local, right? So you
Yes.
wouldn't have someone from Jakarta necessarily supporting a team in Surabaya. You wouldn't have you wouldn't have somebody in Aceh supporting a team in Sulawesi. Is it ever okay to support a team where you're not from? What do you think?
For today, like I said, that information every day. So people can support a club, local club. It's not only about bonding and blood, but also the favorite player, the style of the club. They like the jersey color.
Yep.
So I think everything is possible. And
That's
everything's
okay for
right
you?
today. It's okay.
As
It's
a
okay.
fanatic?
It's okay because the fans of
Okay.
Persib not only coming from Bandung or West Java. I heard from Papua, Sulawesi, even Jakarta. In Jakarta, supporter of Persija, the biggest basis of Persija,
Yeah.
the rival of Persib. When Persib play with Jakarta in GBK, my friend originally from Jakarta, they
Was a
support
fan.
Persib.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Because they like our player,
Yeah.
our
So you
jersey.
support one player, and next thing you know, you're
I think
become
everything
a
is
supporter
possible
of the
now.
team. What do you think?
I also experienced that my friends from Kuningan, West Java, they support Persija.
Yeah.
Even in the university, he organized like the community of the Persija fans in their campus in Bandung.
Okay.
So yeah,
Amazing.
it's like a funny. And also last year I have like the conference between the Bonek Persebaya fans, and they invited many supporters in Surabaya and also in some city around Surabaya. And I found that the many Surabayans also love another team beside Persebaya. Like I met Persija fans,
Okay.
and he originally from Surabaya. And also I found also like kayak Persib Bandung fans also, because when I asked them why you support not Persib, why you don't not support Persebaya, why you are not being bonek like your friends should do, they said yeah, because Bonek and Viking and for Persib fans and also the Jackmania fans for Persija, they have a peace relationship.
Okay.
So that's the one of the reason, and they also love the players from the team. So they think why not we support another team.
But
We
do you understand? Is it okay? Like, do you get why some people are like, "You're not a real fan"?
Yes.
Yeah.
You get
yeah,
it too. You
yeah,
understand.
Yes.
But I think, do you think social media or like the fact that you can watch teams on YouTube or other channels and be able to see clips and highlights so easily?
Yes.
It's okay to be a fan.
It's
of-
okay.
It's okay.
In globalization era, like right now, it's okay.
It's okay.
But maybe you must know, Jamie, when we're talking about Indonesia, I think is not country of football. We only country of football fans. We can only watch football.
That's different than what Iksan was telling me earlier. And this is actually a really good opportunity for us to segue to the Indonesian football corner. So this is the period each show where our guest, where Iksan can teach me a little bit about Indonesian football, and sort of what they love about it, or something they think someone like me who knows very little about the sport here
Yes.
should know. So
Yeah.
please take it away. Teach me, Sensei, please.
Ya, mungkin di sini ada yang tahu. I started for the asking the audience. Tim Asia pertama yang lolos Piala Dunia, ada yang tahu di sini? Nah, tuh tahun berapa itu? Oke, 1938. Ya, Jamie, the first
Wow,
Asian
they
team.
know the answer already.
1938.
That's amazing.
That's Indies, but the reason why Dutch Indies at that time, or Hindia Belanda as we know, play in World Cup, it's because FIFA counted them to play. Because seperti mungkin teman-teman tahu, kita pernah main 1938, even FIFA call us as the first ever Asia team in FIFA website Indonesia. Also, they mentioned as the first Asian team to play in the World Cup, 1938 in France. At the time, specifically in Reims, in one of city of France. But we did not play like right now. There are qualification time. Actually, we have also qualification games against Japan.
Okay.
In April 1938.
Okay.
But Japan withdraw.
Oh, because it was in the lead up to World War
Yes.
II. I see.
Yes, and withdraw. So the Dutch Indies play. But after the FIFA said that, okay, Dutch Indies play for the World Cup in France, there are also conflict in Indonesia. Why? Because there are two federations in Indonesia at that time. Dutch Indies have NIVU, Netherlands Indies Football Union, and then also Indonesia also already have PSSI, Indonesian Football Association, as the native itself. But after many conflict, and FIFA said that team from Netherlands Indies or NIVU will play because officially FIFA know that the Indonesian or Dutch Indies is from the NIVU, PSSI not as the unofficial federation. So that's why.
So who was the makeup of the team? Was it native Indonesians? Were there lots
it's
of
combined with the like
Dutch people?
social condition in Indonesia. There are players from the Japanese, from the Moluccas, and also Sundanese, also
Chinese blood again.
Chinese, and also the Netherlands also.
Okay.
And
So
but
quite diverse team, yeah?
really diversity. But many their needs, like many, actually they use a ship from the Tanjung Priok, Jakarta. They sail to the Sri Lanka, Colombo, and also Jakarta, Medan, Colombo. After that, to the Den Haag, and Netherlands Federation, KNVB, bring every needs that Indonesia. That's in the team needs. For example, like the friendly match before we play against Hungary in round of 16.
Okay.
In Reims, we defeated
Who did you, which team did you play against?
It's, Hungary.
Okay.
Ferenc Puskás at the
and
time.
that was where Hungary was so strong.
Yeah.
So by the time you reached France,
Yep.
the whole team was unfit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because like they couldn't train on the boat.
Yep.
The sports science was probably not
No.
as advanced as it is
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
They're probably just eating potatoes and,
Yes.
Yeah.
and they all got heavy.
Yeah, the problem, the food. I read the Dutch in this newspaper. Yeah, one of the reason and the complaint of the players is like about the food. They not usual play before, and they did not find any rice there, so that's the problem.
So the food in France.
Yep. Food in France.
Fair enough. If you're not used to the food, I would look forward to the food in France, but
Yeah.
I get it. Very different from.
And one
here.
interesting fact from the team, the captain of the team is a surgeon.
So he wasn't a full-time professional footballer?
No. after they have the Daci and the hospital in Surabaya, they play football in the evening. The local team, it's like the underbow from the Persebaya team. It's HBS,
Okay.
the name team. And then after that, yeah, they play football in every Sunday. They play the local league. So no people know in Indonesia call her name Dr. Ahmad Nawir as the captain. So the sergeant, not the professional football.
What position did he play?
At that time, they call the Ahmad Nawir position in halfback. It's like
Center midfield, like
no center midfield. So between center midfield and the central defender.
almost like a stopper,
Like a Joe Stones.
like
in the
a
recent
six,
times.
like a number 6.
Number 5.5 maybe.
5.5. Thank you. That's really helpful. That's so interesting. I had no idea about that history. That's incredible. And I'm just so hopeful that we can see. It would be so exciting to be here next summer
Yes,
and
yes.
have Indonesia in the World Cup.
course.
I mean, that's a dream, and I think that would change everything. Those opportunities bring fan bases together. So yes, thank you for my education, sir. I appreciate that. We're going to turn to our online followers, and we have a few questions. Let me check and just see. So Ferdian wrote on Instagram, this is a question for the U.S., but you'd know. So how is the United States preparing its stadiums and infrastructure to host the largest World Cup in history? And by largest World Cup in history, for the first time, 48 teams are actually going to be there. They're going to be playing group games for 6 months, I think. It's going to be a long time. But 48 teams are participating. And this is pretty amazing because a lot of teams that traditionally wouldn't make it to the stage of the actual World Cup are going to get to play. Personally, I think it's a great thing. I think you open it up, you give more teams the opportunity to experience this. Maybe the game becomes more popular in places like the South Pacific. Maybe it becomes more popular in places in smaller countries in Europe. Maybe a Malta or an Andorra or an Indonesia or a Thailand gets an opportunity they wouldn't have gotten. In terms of infrastructure and preparation, and you guys may know as well, one way to track the progress was looking at this summer's competition, which was the first ever Club World Cup that FIFA ran, and that took place in the United States. That was June to July. I think a little team from London maybe won it. I'm trying to remember. It was a small team, blue in color. They may have beaten the European champ. Was it Chelsea? Okay, sorry, I'm getting caught up. Yes, Chelsea victory. Cole Palmer returned to center stage. Those 2 great goals. And we beat PSG. Not that I watched it or woke up in the middle of the night. I didn't. I did. Of course I did. I think that was a run-up. That was a test. I think we're going to be using a lot of those stadiums. And there was issues, right? We saw in the World Cup there was weather delays because of electrical storms in Florida. The heat in the middle of the day when Europe or other parts of the world could watch was so hot that I don't know if the quality of the football was always like top notch. And then of course the grass. This is always an issue between the United States and other parts of the world. Many of our professional sports teams play on artificial turf, and that's just something that's not done by the elite footballers. I don't know, what's your sense of infrastructure and preparation taking place in the United States, in Canada, and Mexico for next year?
Yeah, I think there's no will be the problems because like we saw in the Club World Cup, the state of art facilities in the United States, like MetLife Stadium and also the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, they're already really good. But maybe the most interesting thing that the teams and the players and the coaches really care about the weather, about the heat, because we know that as I count, there are at least 12 games in Club World Cup that should be postponed in the halftime because the heat really struck the players. So I think the infrastructure, I think there's no will be problem.
Yeah.
Even the President Trump also give the the support for the FIFA, and he has a really close friend with the President FIFA, Gianni Infantino.
Yes, they seem very close.
Yeah, for example, Infantino already visit the White House 2 times in this year, maybe. So you can imagine that they have a good relationship. And yeah, I think the obstacle with United States should be do it that how they manage the weather itself, especially for the heat. That it's
Exactly.
really influence the games. For example, like the players in Europe, maybe in Asia there's no problem. Even the players from the Arab countries also there's no problem. But the Europe, the players that we really idolate, they play not in good times in Europe. It's not the good World Cup for many fans in the world.
That's a really good point. Echo, did you have anything to
Okay,
add?
maybe different with Masan. I just want to talking about the stadium.
Yeah.
I remember when USA '94, it's my first World Cup television.
Okay.
Rose Bowl Stadium and other stadium in USA, originally it's made a function for American football.
Correct.
I saw the line, the original line.
Yep, I remember.
But they can change that into football stadium.
Right.
And I saw the final when Brazil beat Italian in penalty shootout. Yes, this is not American football stadium. This is football stadium.
So you were
maybe
impressed with that.
America call it is soccer stadium.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you
I
could-
think America is really ready for next year.
I think so too. I think that's true. I also think we actually, as the growth of Major League Soccer
Yes, yes, it's
continues,
true.
we've got soccer specific
Yes.
stadiums now. You look at in Atlanta or Columbus, Ohio,
Yes.
like outside Philadelphia, Washington D.C. These aren't many times they're not huge stadiums, but I mean the one in Atlanta is incredible. There's Red Bull, I think, or New York FC has an incredible one.
Yep.
LA has one, obviously. FC Miami as well.
Miami
So really interesting. Before we move to our last segment, let me just take one more question from this is from Grace, and I'll be interested in both of you guys. Tell me, we're more than a year away from the World Cup in 2026, but Grace really wants to know what nations are considered early favorites to win the World Cup. Who are you guys looking at? Give me sort of a team that you think could win it and a team you think could surprise. Why don't we start with you, Echo?
I think it's very standard for me to say that England will have a chance to win the World Cup. But maybe for the surprise country, I think for now the country is more sustainable. So there will be no surprise.
So you don't
we
think
only talking in the semifinal. We're only talking about the team from America Latin like Brazil, Argentina, and the Europe maybe about Germany, England, Portugal, Spain. There's no surprise in USA 26.
Interesting. Cool. What do you think?
Put
you on the spot.
In my personal opinion, I love to watch Cristiano Ronaldo lift the World Cup trophy. So I support Portugal for the World Cup next month. But in reality, but we should be also watch the game like the Spain. They have Lamine Yamal. They have many like Pedri. They have many young players that will be give their first ever play in the World Cup in the world stage. But for the surprising team, I love Japan. Japan have the best, and Japan is the first team that qualify from the qualification in this World Cup. So I saw also the Japan's last game in the Qatar against Croatia. They defeated by the penalty shootout. And I interview one of the senior players, Moriyasu, and now play for Arsenal in England. He said that this is not the real we are. Jadi so they really want to qualify to until the semifinal in America. So hopefully they can make their dream come true. And also one team that will be surprised, Ecuador. I said Ecuador is one of the best team right now with the many young players they play in Europe like Estupinan in AC Milan and also Caicedo in Chelsea.
Yeah,
Your
we like
players.
Caicedo.
Yeah, so Ecuador and Japan, I think people should care about them in the World Cup next year.
So before we move to our last segment, I would say my surprise. I actually like Colombia. I think Colombia is a really strong team. They performed really well against Argentina in the last South American Cup, and I think they're really strong physically. We'll see if they can overcome some challenges they've had in the tournament. And then, of course, the team that I think Argentina is a favorite, although they're going to be a very different side without the magic boots of Angel Di Maria, who's stepped away. But with this being Messi's last World Cup, likely, I think there may still be some magic left. And then, of course,
But when you talk about Colombia, I remember again and again to USA '94. There are two players that I like very much. It's about the hair.
The hair, I think of
From
the hair
Colombia
too.
is Valderrama
Yeah.
and Alexi Lalas from
Yes,
USA national
that's
team.
true.
Alexi Lalas.
Those are images. We should definitely point those out next time. And I too, England is I would love to see England, quote unquote, bring it home.
Yes.
We'll see if that happens. And of course, I'll always be supporting my U.S. men's national team.
I think England just the only maximum until quarterfinal.
I think it's only God way. God never wants England to be a champion. They have a good quality league. They have a good player. They have a good youth development. They have good anything about the football, but never can win again.
It's tough. It's a tough to bring it past the line is really hard. And they just won the under-17 World Cup this year again.
This year, yeah.
So anyway, it's going to be very exciting. Before we wrap up here, our last segment is something we call our golden goal. And we'll do this very quickly because I know we're just about running out of time. This is where we, the three of us, share clips that are bringing us joy, that are bringing us happiness about the sport of football that we can share to you, something we want to share. So why don't we start with Echo, as much as this pains me. Kiki, if you could tee up Echo's, I'm going to look away, but let's look at Echo's clip that he wanted to share with everyone. I think our friend we might have to look away, some of us.
It's the final of Champions League. MU beat the Bayern Munchen. It showed me that football is like a miniature of life. The happiness, the sadness can be turned only in second by the God way.
God decides. I love it. Yes. There's religion is very deeply involved in the sport. And what's amazing about these clips is just the number of truly famous players. Like those teams were incredible. Like Lothar Matthäus is there. You've got
Stefan Effenberg.
Schmeichel. Just incredible. No, I mean that was
That semi-cover, he cried.
It was incredible. Look at Alex Ferguson. So happy. Makes me so sad. But anyway, I digress. That's a great clip, and I really do think it captures the emotion and how excited people were. What's your clip, Iksan?
I got a lot of money.
What's your golden goal? What's your golden goal? Can we tee up Iksan's? Oh, wait, this is me. I'm going next.
Yeah.
Yes. This is mine because it's one of my favorite goals I've ever watched. I didn't watch it live, but I remember, I think, this was like an FA Cup weekend, I think, and just watch this.
Oh, yeah.
The athleticism. I mean, this is Robert Van Persie. This is Arsenal. This was before he ruined his reputation. Just kidding. Before he moved to Man U. and got them their last. Was he their last title?
Yeah.
I think so. It was Fergie's last time. So just this goal for me, the counterattack, the way Arsenal comes back, typical Arsenal, very precise passing, and then of course just the incredible just beauty. It's just everything about the way Van Persie moved was incredible, and the fact that he's Dutch too. I thought there's a link to Indonesia and my love of total football and those Dutch players. He too was he an Ajax guy, if I recall? Did he come from the Ajax academy?
From Feyenoord.
Feyenoord. He's a Feyenoord guy. Excuse me. Yes, Feyenoord. Okay, but nevertheless, amazing tradition. Last but not least, what's your golden goal?
My golden goal, actually, my reporting from the last training in Indonesian national team before we play against Australia in the Asian Cup. They said that was the first time we play in the knockout stage of Asian Cup, the biggest as a nation in 1945. So this is like the pride moment for me. I watched the game. I also reporting the game. So it's really unforgettable for us.
So it was like Indonesia at its peak, right?
Yes.
Really incredible.
This is Asian Cup is like the first step that Indonesian said to the world of football that here we are. It is the time we are for the wake up call for us.
That's amazing, and hopefully over the next, I don't know, when are the next qualifications for Indonesia? October.
We play in Saudi Arabia.
Amazing. Fingers crossed. I'm really hoping it would be amazing to be here for an Indonesian run in the World Cup. So with that, guys, we're going to close the stream. Thanks to Eko and Iksan for their insights today. Thank you to our audience for listening. And if you like what you saw, tell your friends. Tell people to come. We'd love to have more people come to the show. Our next show is October the 30th. And the next time, please do come in person, wear your kit. Let's celebrate football together. If you have suggestions for topics or conversations or clips, things like that, please send them to our At America social media platforms at YouTube, X, Facebook, and Instagram. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Aldi to wrap up the streaming, and then we'll sit down and take some questions from our audience. Thanks again, everybody, and thanks for joining FC At America. Over to you, Aldi.
Thank you very much Pak Jamie dan Sobat Amerika dimanapun Anda berada, pastikan untuk mengikuti terus rangkaian podcast At America FC yang akan menemani Anda menuju Piala Dunia. Dan ini sekaligus menutup perjumpaan kita malam hari ini. Saya Ali Rashid beserta segenap kru yang bertugas pamit undur diri. Sampai jumpa dan salam olahraga.